Watching the morning show from your local news leader.
Welcome back. In an increasingly digital age, technology has become a large part of our lives.
But many are concerned about the potential risks of using it too much. And here to talk about how to stay healthy while using your technology, Carrie Offenstein. Good morning.
Good morning, guys.
How are you?
Good. It's good to be here.
Oh, it's good to see you. You're always the smiliest person I've ever seen. So. We're talking about technology. So we were kind of talking before the break about how it can be fun, but it's also not always a good thing to do.
That's right. You know, really this is all about balance because technology provides a lot of really positive things for our life. It connects people, it helps people stay track of their health and their goals and things like that. But we really want to make sure it's not taking over our lives, that we're using it as a tool, not as something that's kind of consuming us.
And some things that might surprise people are the effects of overusing technology. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, number one, you know, it can really interfere with your sleep. It can keep you awake at night and things like that. We all know how that is. But, I mean, it also can lead to depression, anxiety, a lot of stress. It can make people feel less self-esteem, less self-worth. When you're comparing yourself to people online, it can get rough.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And so these are some serious effects. You know, when you don't think about it when you're texting on your phone, you don't think much of it. But how do you actually go about limiting yourself? Because it can be really difficult. Say it's part of your job, you know? What do you do?
Absolutely, you know, and that's why you want to kind of tailor make whatever plan to limit to your own needs, because maybe you do need it for your job, or maybe you really use technology in a healthy way to keep track of people in your life and things like that. So really, it's about kind of monitoring yourself. If it's become something that's a problem for you, if you feel like it's sort of taking over your life, look at those areas where you feel like you need to reduce it and then take a plan of action according to that. So really, I think, you know, just even taking an hour every night to sort of shut everything off and kind of unplug can be a great idea.
But how do you know when you are overusing?
Right.
You know, you really have to kind of ask yourself those questions, like, how do I feel after I've spent a couple hours on social media? You know, you might feel stressed, you might feel worse about yourself, things like that, you know, especially if it's making you feel disconnected from the world instead of connected, which is really what the purpose is, then it's probably time to step back. If it's getting in the way of your goals, your responsibilities, work, school, then it's something that's not as healthy for you.
And then, you know, if you're not, say take an hour or two to unplug, there are some other things you can do with your time, correct, that would be productive?
Oh, absolutely. You know, I'm really a big proponent of doing something physical, you know, exercise or go out and learn a new skill, build something, you know, play an instrument, do something that's kind of explicitly not technology centered, you know, take time to spend with your family, do a game night, things like that, you know. That stuff can be really healthy and it can be kind of restoring.
Monopoly.
Monopoly.
If you make it till the end. My family, we don't make it till the end of the game.
No, that
But you're
game
still
takes
spending
forever.
time together.
It does.
So you mentioned those ideas, or you know, an unplugging an hour before bedtime or something like that. But what are some other ways to keep a good balance?
So, you know, one thing that I really like to tell people that I think can be really helpful is just reducing down to a one screen at a time limit. So, you know, a lot of times we find ourselves, we're kind of watching a streaming service just on and on, but we're also on our phone. I do it too.
You got this in front of the TV with your phone, right?
Well, that's what people are doing right now. Yeah, right now.
You know, and even just kind of setting a goal for one day to try doing that. You know, it can even just be a fun thing to test out, but you might find that you feel a little less distracted, a little less scattered, you know, a little less pressured to respond to every single stimulus.
Yeah.
So,
Good tips.
Thanks, Carrie.
Absolutely.
Limit yourself to just the TV.
Right. Watch the news right now.
Just CIA, put those other screens down. Still to come, though, the only eclipse of the year is happening this weekend.
And Professor David Leak is going to tell us what is causing it. It's coming up next.